My name is Poetic Peach, and this is my poem, High, Healing, Inspire, Growth, Hope. With every pull, the vague streams of smoke dance and parade in her lungs. Fully captivated, anticipated clean breath. Her mind is overpowered by the drug. She is high, slipping off to unboundless memories of feeling free. Releasing her grip on reality, she's lost her way. She pulls again, this time with intent. She believes she is still in control. How could she be this high yet feel so low? Repetitively questioning herself, what happened to me? Where did I go? Feeling overwhelmed with despair, she pulls again, this time without care. Without care of where she went, where she was, and if she was even coming or going. She is high, so high, she begins to feel like she was losing control. No pulls, just ashes. Coincidental how it all ends with ashes, right? After a binge of unhealthy carbs and empty calories and what seemed like a 4-hour coma, the promises of the drug were off, and again, she feels and she wonders, what if I stop pulling and just feel?
Thank you for tuning in to Uncommon Women. I'm your host, Shanera.
And Jenny Lee.
And today we have a couple with 5 children. They're going to express the recovery of being drug addicts and share their testimony of how they recovered through that hardship. Just to give you a little bit of bio of one of our guest speakers is Carol Perry, born and raised in Chester County, PA, 30, mother of 5 children, has a vision for fashion, enjoys listening to music and shopping, and spending time with her family. She's a fraternal twin, and she's been recovered addict from opioids for about 8 months now. Today, she's going to share her story of how it all begun. We also have James Washington, born in Coatesville and raised in Akron, PA. He likes to express his emotions through music. He's a very caring and outgoing person, definitely a child of God, enjoys playing sports, and enjoys nature seeing. Currently holding a certified peer counseling as certified recovery specialist. So before we get started into how they got addicted to drugs, Carol, can you tell us a little bit about your story?
Thank you guys for having me today. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I was born and raised in Chester County, PA. I have a twin sister, a fraternal twin sister. I was adopted from the state at birth into foster care. My biological parents were also addicts, passed away from heroin overdose. My adopted parents, me and my sister lived with them from, I believe, the age of 2 until they passed 14. They were very sick with diabetes. Me and my sister took care of them from the age of 7 until they passed, which was 13, 14. My mom was very obese. My dad had both legs amputated. Therefore, you can imagine what me and my sister did to take care of them. They passed when we were 13. Soon after that, we moved in with our aunt in Coatesville, PA. I went to Coatesville High School from 9th grade to 12th grade. And about my senior year, I got pregnant with my first child. I got pregnant in my senior year in high school, had my first daughter, graduated high school. Soon after she was born, I was kicked out of my aunt's house and forced to move with my kid's father and his mother in Akron, waiting until housing went through.
Sounds good. So, James, tell me a little bit about your childhood.
Everyone, my name is James, and I'd just like to thank God for his peace, grace, and mercy. And thank you, ladies, for having me here. It's a pleasure to be on your podcast. My childhood was normal, just like anyone else. My mother did raise me and my brother, my two brothers. Um, her and my dad split up maybe when I was maybe around like 8. Um, my dad and my mother were supposed to get married, and my dad had wrecked on his motorcycle before the wedding, so that didn't happen. My dad was struggling with addiction, and things were a little chaotic growing up. It was hard for me and my brothers at times, but overall, I got a good dad, and he always made sure we didn't ever have to want for nothing. My mom, she did her best. She always made sure we had food on the plate. She worked hard. She made sure I was in all sports, baseball, football, and yeah. So my dad wasn't around for a while. Me and my one of my brothers, he was pretty hard on me growing up, and he used to take his aggression out on me, and he just didn't want me to grow up being soft. I always looked up to him growing up, and he did a lot of things that I liked. I was introduced to the lifestyle, and we did a lot together. I seen a lot growing up. Seen a lot of people drink beers in front of me. A lot of fights all the time. That was the lifestyle, as any boy growing up around, a bunch of young men who are trying to find themselves growing up. But yeah, my mom, she always had us in Sunday school. I grew up being a Sparky. So I was always connected. My aunts, my uncles, they always had me. We always went to great adventures. Hershey Park, Donny Park, you name it, we were there. Later down the road, I met Carol, and we connected on a whole nother level. And I ended up getting her pregnant. I think she was like 17. I might have been 21. But yeah, life was good. I'm actually thankful that I had to go through everything that I went through to become the person I am today.
So, Carolyn, tell me a little bit about how your addiction started.
My first time using drugs was when I had my C-section with my oldest daughter at 18 years old. I knew I liked them, but I was able to put them down. Soon after that, I had 4 wisdom teeth taken out around Mother's Day, and I fell in love since. I continued to take them. For, it lasted about 6 years, every day, all day, and progressed to heroin. 4 to 5 years after that, I decided to get help, and enough was enough. I couldn't take it anymore. Drugs totally destroyed my life, but I am in the process of picking the pieces back up and getting things together.
That's good. So what about you, James? How did it all start with you?
I drank my teenage years. I really never smoked cigarettes or weed or none of that type of stuff. But actually, this is how it started with me. Carol was hiding her addiction from me for quite a while, and I just started picking up on little traits. I would buy her food, and she would say she didn't want it. She wouldn't feel good, so I'm like, all right, take some NyQuil or something, and she would act like she would take it, but then still be sick. Um, Behaviors just continued to progress, and I would get frustrated um, because at that time I thought I had a lot of power because I was selling drugs, I was making money, and I was just in love with the lifestyle. I put my friends before my family at that time. I was young, dumb, but overall, I learned a lot from my addiction. Um, and me, when she finally told me that what she was taking and stuff like that, I'm like, damn, like a Percocet could like really like just make you not care about your family and stuff like that. And it's weird, but I know that there was like some type of devil because like I felt like I wanted to feel the same type of pain she was feeling because I couldn't fix what she was going through at that time. I didn't understand nothing about addiction, so I end up taking a Percocet and I popped it for the first time and I just felt it was like the best feeling in the world. Um, I loved it from the time that I did it. Um, and nobody even knew at that time. And then, yeah, so like one of my white friends just was really just trying to like put me on and give me a better feel of the drug. So he was just like, crush it up. And I was like, I ain't snorting that stuff, man. Like, y'all crazy. I just never did nothing like that. And he ended up convincing me to do it. And when I did it, I felt like I was Superman. Gave me more power than I ever wanted. Um, when you're making a lot of money and, everybody wants to be around you, so you feel like, okay, I got to continue to keep pleasing everybody around me, but not really knowing who's really in your corner at the end of the day. Narcotics destroyed my life. Took a lot of time away from my family and my kids. Carol, when I started getting deeper into it because my life became unmanageable, my focus every day was to buy more drugs to supply my habit. When you're intoxicated, you just stop caring about yourself. I just started doing whatever I wanted, like cheating, stuff like that. That's what the drug does to you. It just like gives you no feeling about nothing. So I just basically started doing like whatever I wanted, and later down the road, I just ended up getting introduced to dope, and that's when stuff really got real for me. I never tried it, but I was selling a lot of it, and I didn't understand why people would beg, like, will come to my house. If I didn't answer, there was people coming that came through my window. That's how much of effect it had on the people I was giving it to. And everything was just like a fog. I was just caught up in that lifestyle. Carol's just like over here. I got money, so I think that if I give her a little bit, she'd be cool with it. It was just all messed up, man. And at the end, I really had to pay for everything. I had to get real and honest with myself. CYS ended up getting involved. I lost 4 of my children. And by the grace of God, I'm still trying to get my daughter back now. My addiction has became the family's problem. And if it wasn't for my mom and my aunt, my kids could honestly be anywhere in the world right now. So I'm grateful that they're in a good place. But to be honest, like, that still wasn't enough when I lost my 4 children. Like, I still had that craving, and I didn't understand the addiction part of it. Like, I didn't understand, like, what was going on with me. I didn't understand that why I wanted to use drugs. You know, I never understood, like, the drugs were just a solution to cover up some things that I went through in my life that I just wanted to keep using and just block everything out. You know, it got to the point where I couldn't even make it to a visit because if I didn't have the narcotic, the perk, or the dope, I wasn't going. And that was so selfish of me because, you know, like I said, my drug addiction has became the family's problem. It affected my daughter, you know, and she's seen a lot. And I'm just grateful she got a good heart and she forgave me. So, like, I ended up moving to Coatesville, and I was just selling drugs to feed my habit, and everyone else around me. At that point, I was using meth and dope, and it was like the up feeling so I could stay up to make the money, and then it was the down feeling so I can get some sleep. And I would honestly wake up every day just thinking about where it is, how I'm going to get it. If I didn't have it, if I didn't have the money, I would go to Walmart, steal stuff, and take it to the pawn shop. Like, I knew right there from, like, having so much money to having nothing because how much effects the drug had on my life that it was destroying me. It got to the point where I was doing so much meth that my feet got swelled up, my hands was swelled up, you know, and the last time I seen my mom and my brother, they was just like, they didn't like really even recognize who I was. And that hurt me, man. You know, my brother looked me in the face and he was just like, you don't look the same. You don't look like yourself. You need to go get some help. But I wasn't trying to hear that shit. Like, it took for me, you know, to actually do a bag of dope and die. And when I died in Carol's arms, and a couple of my friends was around me, and I went to another place. I just remember that everything was dark, and my body was leaving my body, but they said that I was, like, awake and normal, but I wasn't there anymore. And what brought me to Jesus Christ is, I don't know, I seen a light and something touched me, and it was the best feeling in the world. The colors were so beautiful, the butterflies and the bubbles. It's all I could remember, and I just could hear something in my head saying, tell my people I'm coming. And then, like, all I remember is I woke up and they were telling me everything that happened. That was, like, the most thing that I ever experienced in my life. It has the effect on me today because I always questioned if God was real. Not being able to see somebody and praying, and I didn't understand what it meant to when it said walk by faith and not by sight. To have faith and just leave everything in his hands. People don't understand like how I could just turn from the drugs and the lifestyle, being in the streets, because I love that. I love it. I love the excitement from it. But when that happened to me, everything changed. And prior to that, I had prayed because when my mom and my brother told me that I didn't look like myself, I just said, God, please, like, I want to go to rehab, something. That happened, August 14th. I died. I went somewhere else. Something happened with me and God, and that's how I came to God, and I know He's real. And I went to jail because that's where I guess He knew that I would repent to everything that I did. I had a lot of guilt and shame, and I ended up going to rehab, and it changed my life. And I prayed to God that He give me a sense of direction and bring good people in my life, and I'm here today. I don't even know how all this stuff is happening, but it happened. I ended up getting certified to be a recovery specialist, and I'm just thankful for everything that I went through to become who I am today, and I thank you for having me.
So, what is something that you did in order to get, narcotics?
Something I did. I did just about anything and everything to get the next one. Lie, manipulate, steal, cheat, deceive, deceived other people, deceived myself, first and foremost. Degraded who I was. Pushed everything to the side to make sure I was okay, because if I wasn't okay in addiction, then no one else was okay. I wasn't able to do anything as far as take care of myself as well as my children. And it's a sucky feeling. It hurts. It hurt at the time, and it hurts now, but I'm learning to accept, forgive myself, let go, and let God take me on the path that I was destined to be. But as far as what I did to get the next one, just about anything.
How about you, James?
I pretty much, I knew a lot of people, so if it ever came down to a point where I didn't have the drug, I would try to get someone to front me, and if I knew it wasn't enough, then they were burnt. You know what I mean? They wasn't getting paid, and that's just how it was. Like, you know what I mean? I would swindle people. Yo, I need some money, or whatever I had to do, and like I said, I would go to different stores and just steal, and go down to the pawn shop, or steal and go to the Walmart counter and get money on a card and take the card to the pawn shop. It was just out of control, man. I never seen myself going that far to where I had to steal something. Coming from a lot of money. So, like, you can have all the money and the power and all that stuff, and it can just be gone just like that. All from the enemy. All from thinking you got everything and you're a slave. I was a slave. I was trapped in a room for days at a time, just looking at the wall, not knowing what's going on. You know what I mean? Yo, you trying to come out? I'm not trying to go nowhere. I'm just trying to chill in here. And I was okay with that, with a bunch of food in the room, scratch-off tickets everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Not taking showers, just being trifling. And I got a second chance at life, so I'm grateful today.
And how did that affect your relationship with your kids?
It definitely affected my relationship with my kids, especially my oldest daughter. Me always giving her empty promises, lying to her for when CYS took my daughter and my aunt and them had her, I used to tell my daughter, like, I'm gonna get you back. I'm gonna get you back. Not knowing that that's how much of a slave I was to the drug. Because I really thought in my head that I was gonna get her back because I'm really a good person, but not with that. It made me not, you know. She says, "You love me, Dad?" I can't even say because that's how much of a hold it had on me. But today I love my daughter unconditionally. It's my baby. And my boys. You know, they get frustrated when I come and I leave. They don't understand. So, like, this is what it does to you. It breaks up families, everything. I lost everything.
Carol, how's your relationship with your children?
Today, my relationship with my children, I am in the process of mending it back together. Back in addiction, my relationship with my children was a little rocky. My oldest daughter, she was all I knew. We were always together, mother and daughter, always together. She looked up to me until she realized her mother was an addict, and she was off to live with her aunt. A few months turned into a few more months, a few more months turned into a few years turned into periodically now. I continued to tell her I was going to get her back. I'm working on myself. Mommy's getting help. I'm going to get you back. I'm going to get us a house. Because at that time, we had lost everything, including our home. I remember her being a little girl and telling her friends, yeah, my mommy's about to get a house. My mommy's about to get a house. Not realizing that wasn't normal. So, like James said, a lot of empty promises, false hope, emptiness. Today, she is learning to forgive me, and things are getting better by the grace of God. Now, with my boys, they're still young. You know, they're 5, 6, and 5, so they don't know too much, but they know enough. They know enough to ask, what am I doing when I go into the bathroom? Or if I'm in there too long. Mommy, what are you doing? So they know enough. They don't understand that when we come to see them, why we have to go. They get upset. It hurts them, and I understand. Especially carrying, each child for 9 months and having them in my room and them feeling me for 9 months. It affects them. Regardless how far we are apart, we're always connected in spirit. My youngest, thank God, they don't know too much. They are still little, and I still have time to fix memories rather than breaking them. But as far as that, I have 5 wonderful, beautiful, smart, intelligent, amazing kids, and I am blessed to have them in my life and blessed for them to be still connected together and able to pick up the broken pieces.
So my question is, even through the addiction, at any moment did you ever think that or decide or ever wanted to, stop, that you needed help?
Yes. Actually, throughout it all, I wanted to stop. I knew I needed help from day one. I didn't really know where about or how to get help, and in the beginning. And then when I did have the help offered, I did not take it. I had lots of excuses. I didn't want to take my daughter through that. I didn't want to leave her. I didn't want to leave my kid's father's side. Every excuse you could imagine. Also, he provided the drug, so I did not want to leave his side in the transition process of being too scared I was going to be sick.
And as for me, I really didn't know too much about addiction in my addiction. I didn't think that I had a problem. I actually kind of went through some feelings after I had got set up by someone that I thought really loved me. And I forgive that person today. And they knew who they are. But I did a year altogether, and I went to rehab. I took it as a joke. Came home. I remember before I left the rehab, they talking about people, places, and things, but I still have that mindset to go get it. You know what I mean? And I end up relapsing after having a year clean. And I just thought that, damn, like, after all that happened, why would I go back to everything? Even with my kids, it was the disease part of it that, like, just took me back out of there. And like I said, I'm grateful. But yeah, this last time I was telling everybody about when, I died and all that, like, that was it. I knew I had a problem. I knew I had a problem, and I knew I needed help. And I got the help that I needed.
Also, when the first time that you ever took the drug, before the effect came in, how did it really make you feel? Like, was it like a high feeling? Was it just an effect that you felt like you were floating?
Okay.
Because I know that certain drugs make you feel a certain way before it really affects you, and then that's when you really know you like it.
Okay. So with me, I would speedball sometimes.
Okay.
I would do ice, and then I would do a perk or some dope, and then I would be real social, like all the way up, outside of my character, talking to everybody, gambling, serious gambling problem. I even dealt with other addictions too, sex addiction. I'm just being honest. There's a lot of other things that, people, for myself, I was covering up some things that I didn't want to deal with, so I would use them as a clutch. And that's just what it is. Things are changing now, though.
How about for you, Carolyn?
Yes, it gave me a very euphoric feeling. It made me feel as though all my worries were put to the side. I felt like Superwoman. I was able to cook, clean, take care of the daily needs at the house, take care of my daughter, as well as the neighbors' kids. I felt like as if I looked better, although in reality I did not. I thought I felt better, although in reality I was deteriorating my body slowly. So yes, it gave me euphoric in the beginning, and it progressed to the insanity of deep depression, anxiety, loneliness, until I fell apart, hit rock bottom. And like I said, when I hit rock bottom, whether I was sick, high, it didn't matter. There was nights and days I would pull out the Bible and read verses to my kid's father and beg him to listen to him. Just listen, we need help. But like I said, the drug is so powerful, it'll take you away from everything. Yourself, your family, your loved ones, anything and everything, your dreams, your goals. But thank God it doesn't have to be like that today. Because as long as you're alive, things can always change.
Okay. During the transition, before the transition, did you guys been together for 13 years? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Did you have any resentment against one another if you were trying to get your life back together, but she didn't want to, or she was trying to get her life back together and you didn't want to? Did y'all have any resentment against each other, being in a relationship, both being addicts?
Yeah. I had some resentment, but I knew I had to forgive her in order to forgive myself. People make mistakes, and I might not have never forgave her if I didn't go through addiction, honestly. And just knowing what that stuff will make you do, and I wasn't living right, and it says in the Bible, you reap what you sow. So I think that everything that I put out came back to me, it caught up to me. Like, I thought I was getting away with a lot of stuff for a lot of years. And one word that always sticks with me is integrity. So I learned a lot about myself and just treating people with respect. And I prayed to God and I asked God to forgive her, and she, I guess, forgave me.
How about you, Carolyn?
Resentments, that's a good one. Yes, I've had a lot of resentments for years, and today I still am working on those resentments. If God can forgive, so can I. Mm-hmm. Case closed.
That's good. That's good.
Yes.
Do you have any other questions?
So my next question is, so how's your transition now? How's your life present now? And what are your things that you want to do in the future?
Life is good. And honestly, I didn't think that life would ever be this good for me again. It's been years of just after all that running around, beating my body up, my mental up. But the power of prayer, man, got me. I just put myself in a situation that got me in a situation. I end up just taking 11 weeks of classes, 54 hours to become a certified recovery specialist. And I just got that taken care of. So that is a big plus from a guy who was hustling his whole life, maybe had one or two jobs,
Start.
This is it's big for me. And there's something inside me that's always been with me. I just like to help people, I always like to put a smile on somebody's face to the best of my ability. I give my last if I got it to make people happy. I pray with the homeless. I go do donations that the people help give to me, and just go help the people the poor and the people who are suffering from the same thing I'm suffering from. Even though I'm clean, I'm still an addict, a grateful recovering addict. So everything is going good. In the progress of getting my youngest daughter back, and things wasn't looking so good at first, but it's been a big turn in that too. And I know it's a God, and I'm just going to continue to seek and do what I got to do.
That's awesome. How about you, Carol?
Currently, I have finished treatment and went through the process. I am in North Philadelphia working as a waitress at a diner. That is a short-term goal currently. My long-term goal is possibly to get into fashion merchandising, apparel, maybe start my own business, whether it's with fashion apparel, even restaurant management.
That's good.
I am an outpatient as well, mental health and drug and alcohol, which I will continue to do because that is what is keeping me healthy and sober, as well as staying connected with friends, family, positive influences. Continuing to use my coping skills, such as music therapy, arts and crafts, spirituality, believing in a power greater than myself that can restore me to sanity. And, the steps work. I've not done them, but here and there I've tested a few of them out, and they work.
So, one more question. If you had to give advice to anybody growing up that's has the peer pressure going on with the other kids on the street, or anyone that's taking narcotics, what would you tell them?
I would tell them that there is something inside of every human. A woman or a man can't save you. Even if you got that human being, there's something still deep down inside you that's telling you that you need to seek something else. I experienced it. I've been fighting it away for a long time. And it's brought me to my knees. It's brought me to who I am today. So don't fight that temptation off. It's nothing but the enemy. We fight good and evil every day. And, you can do it. You're chosen. We all are.
Is there anything that you would tell girls that possibly went through what you went through, or to prevent them from being addicted to narcotics?
I would say don't give in to peer pressure, because misery loves company, and 2019 is follow the leader, and everyone's attracted to negativity. You think what you become what you think. Stick with the winners and don't give in to peer pressure. Keep your head in the books, follow your dreams. Don't give in, stay humble, reach for the stars, and keep your head up.
That's good. One more question. What is one thing that you would like to tell your children?
I love you so much. You guys mean the world to me. And everything happens for a reason.
I love you guys. And Mommy's working hard. Mommy will be back soon. Everything's going to be okay. Keep your head in the books as well. Don't give in to temptation. And keep smiling, because things are going to get better.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Carol and James. Also, thank you again for tuning in to episode 26. Please don't forget to share, like, and comment on our page. Follow us at IG Uncommon 3 Women, Facebook Uncommon Women, and also Berks County Women. We will be at Slay Day, woo woo, a women's conference, May 11th. Tickets and details can be found on Eventbrite.
And listeners, please remember to
stay uncommon.